Hello again, this is AZC2. I'm sure many of you have heard opposition leader Peter Dutton saying boycott Woolworths because they have decided to pull out Australia Day merchandise due to declining demand. It's a business decision that the company has made because by selling merchandise that there's little demand for, they are not making any money. Being saddled with goods that are hard to sell isn't going to bring them any profit. It's only going to increase their costs unnecessarily. And Peter Dutton has gone on the offensive, saying boycott Woolies. Well, if Peter Dutton is really patriotic and serious about Australia Day, he should be saying that we should support small businesses owned by Australians on Australia Day, like your neighborhood grocer, your local butcher. These are the people who need our dollars. And what better way to support them on what is supposed to be Australia's National Day? However, he's been called out, and rightly so, for attempting to ignite a culture war. Dutton is a conservative, and Woolworths' decision apparently reeks of wokeness. Well, reading about this reminded me of a movie I've seen recently. The movie is called Pendatang. It is about a dystopian version of Malaysia where all races have been segregated. Okay. The story in the movie goes that there was a referendum about segregation and 79% of people voted yes. And there were massive relocations countrywide. One of the characters in the movie was apparently a spokesperson for the campaign to bring about the Segregation Act. And this man said, I only said what everybody else wanted to hear. So it makes me wonder if Peter Dutton is saying what everybody else wants to hear, or is he simply speaking his own mind, or is he saying what somebody else has told him to say? I mean, if it is the last option, then we all should get worried. Because it means he's no longer his own man. He's on somebody else's payroll. As the opposition leader, we are paying his wages. And he's supposed to act on our behalf to hold the government accountable. I mean, what is 26th January? 26th January essentially is New South Wales Founding Day and nothing more than that. Western Australia did not exist until the first Monday of June in 1829. So yes, 26th January is effectively irrelevant to the people in the Swan Valley colony, which is now the city of Perth and its surrounding areas, as well as the whole state of Western Australia, which occupies 1/3 of the nation. So, as a sand groper, I don't think Peter Dutton's call for us to boycott Woolworths holds any water. I mean, well, there are other reasons to boycott Woolworths, but pulling out Australia Day merchandise isn't a valid reason at all. I mean, yes, Dutton's argument is completely flawed. In fact, I will go as far as to say he's got his priorities upside down. Like, he's trying to start a culture war when there is none to begin with. And I mean, his behavior during the referendum campaign for the indigenous voice was extremely deplorable. This man has got the biggest case of Mayflower syndrome in the country. I mean, his ancestors were immigrants, and yet he is acting like he owns the country. Really? Who are the people who are voting for him? Are they so inbred like the Marvolo Gaunt family in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince that they are no longer capable of thinking for themselves? I'm pretty sure his hardcore voters are the ones behind a graffiti attack on a Woolworths store in Brisbane. I mean, this behavior by the vandals is so un-Australian. Businesses should be allowed to carry out their activities without fear of vigilantes. If John Moulton of Fire Restaurant deserves the right to carry out his business activities without being interrupted by vegans, well, the same logic applies to Woolworths in Tenerife and the vandals who graffitied the store and set up a flare underneath the eaves of the building, which resulted in all the residents of the building being forced to evacuate. The bill for the damage should be sent directly to Dutton himself. We should encourage hackers to find out who is coaching Dutton what to say, because it is imperative that we know who writes his speeches. Then we know if he's speaking his own mind, or he's simply being used as a puppet by somebody else with a nefarious agenda, like Vladimir Putin, for instance. I'm sure the No campaign was directed by someone high up in the Kremlin. And yes, I believe Australians have a right to celebrate their National Day however they want, but the most appropriate way is still to support local businesses. Support your local grocer, your local butcher. Those are homegrown businesses. Yes, boycott the big retailers, but not just on Australia Day, but whenever you can. I mean, the big retailers, they are making millions of money ripping off ordinary citizens. It's time to put them in their places and support local small businesses whenever we can. And one last thing, Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi.